next future millionaire. Give him another handshake. Give him another handshake right now. Shake somebody's hand. Say, I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad to meet you. You might have to hook me up.
You hooked up.
Right.
How many would like to make this difference in your community? Because of the things that I learned, and I'm going to teach you how to become a master communicator. I was a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. I resigned midway of my third term to go back to Miami to take care of my mother. That's Mama. I took care of her until she was 89, bought her 4 different homes. How many of you like to be able to buy a home for somebody you love? Raise your hands, please. These webinars and things that we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do it. There's nobody in the industry who's gone through what I've gone through, who came out of the circumstances that I came out of. It's different. Who had to make it against the odds, like John H. Johnson here at Ebony Magazine. My experience is different. So when I look at you, I see greatness. When I look at you, I think about when I was sitting out in an audience and saying, can I do this? God, can I? Who's called dumb twin, can I buy my mother a home? Can I be my own boss? I was working for a company, I won't tell you that it was Sears, and they kept passing me up for a promotion. Whatever. They told me, they said, be a team player. I was the #1 salesperson for 6 months in a row. You'll lower morale, and they kept putting people over me, and I had to train them. And they would make a residual off me. And that created the birth of an entrepreneur. When you go through stuff, it can make you bitter or it can make you better. And I left one day and said, where you going? I said, you about to make me lose my mind up in here. How many ever went to do work and said, you know what? I'm the wrong one.
Right.
I'm about to snap on you. And I had to get out of there. I had to do something that allowed me to be free. And I love working with people and allowed me to be able to make money. You know, people say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. A friend of mine, Rita Davenport, said money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're as homeless as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, he's got eyes like Terrence Howard, honey. Earlobes like Denzel Washington. What is your legacy? These are my children. They speak. They're authors. They run the business. How many of you have children? Raise your hands, please. When I do a training here, I want you to bring your children. I'm going to train your kids. My kids and I, we're going to train them. Saying the same thing you say, but an expert is a person from out of town with an attaché case. Am I making sense with you on that? All right? How many of you wouldn't mind us working with your children? Raise your hands, please. How many of you know if something works and you get your kids involved, it works? Raise your hands, all right? Very good. And so, I want you to write this out. Fill up those papers and make sure you sign it to us. We're going to do daily motivation, and then after that, I'm going to do a live webinar with you. And I want you to pass those papers in so we can have that data. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do this. Because I can. God has been good to me. I've been given grace. I've been very blessed. Been very blessed because of you, Dr. June. What are the chances at this stage of my life, cancer metastasizing in my body, God would put someone in my life who loved me unconditionally and who said to me and spoke. How many of you ever had somebody speak and just inspired you? Raise your hand, speak. And so when you spoke, it's like it hit me at the cellular level. And I know my goal is to create messengers of hope. How many of you like to do that? Raise your hands, please. I've never been trained in the traditional way like most people. I don't have any college training. But I've discovered a formula that works and that, let us say together, it works.
It works.
If I work it.
If I work it.
very good. And so I'm excited about this. Here's something else. Don't define yourself or your circumstances based upon where you are. That's why my favorite book says, judge not according to appearances. There's more in you. I know what it is. Creditors used to call the house, my children would answer the phone and say, my daddy said he ain't home. Or they catch me on the phone, may I speak to Les Brown? Sorry, but he's not here. You sound like Les Brown, don't you go there, big boy. Here's the last thing, let us say this together with power. You gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry. I'll never forget Mr. Wash said, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, I want to buy my mother a home. He said, you gotta be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do. In order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry, no excuse is acceptable. People that are hungry are relentless. I said, Mr. Washington, I'm hungry, sir, to take care of my mother. I'm hungry, sir, to make something of myself. All my life, people compared me to my brother because he's smarter than I am. Or my sister who graduated from the University of Miami. You're the only person, I've never known my father. But you are the only person who looked at me and you gave me respect. Even when I failed, you never looked at me like I was a dummy. You never called me DT. And I want to make my mother proud and I want to just thank you. He said, how do you plan to do that? I said, I want to be a disc jockey. I listen to the radio all the time and I want to be in the radio. He said, good. Follow these three things. Here are three master keys to success. And we'll go deeper when we do this webinar together. Number one, mindset transformation. He said, I want you to watch and listen to these motivational materials on a regular basis and read at least 20 to 30 pages of something positive every day. You have to program yourself for success. Next thing, he said, you have to increase your skill set. There's a new economy. Things have changed. When I was a kid, we had a phone in every house. Now, everybody got a phone in their pocket. Things have changed, all right? When I was a kid, you want to make a long-distance phone call, you call the long-distance operator. How many of you remember that? Raise your hand. Right. Now you do it directly. It's called creative destruction. And so you got to develop your mindset, mental resiliency. You have to increase your skill set. We can tell you how to do that. Here's the next thing. You want to create collaborative, achievement-driven, positive relationships. Collaborative, people you can work with. Achievement-driven, not entertainment-driven. Achievement-driven, positive, supportive relationships. That gives you an advantage in life. And so, I did the things that he told me to do. And I said, sir, I followed your directions. He says, good. He said, go to WMBM radio station and apply for a job. I've done all that I can do for you. There's a guy there called Ed Cook, the Nassau Daddy, and Milton Butterball Smith. Go apply for a job. I went to apply for a job. Hello, Mr. Butterball, Mr. Cook. My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? No, sir, I don't. Do you have any experience in broadcasting? I said, no, sir, I don't. But let me audition for you, sir. Let me show you how good I am. I visualize every day. I've been practicing. Just give me a shot. He said, no. How many ever been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated. I went back and said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times. He said, you gotta be hungry. Go back again. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir, you did. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. He said no one was laid off or fired. I went back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was seeing him for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. He said, why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. He said, no.